Good morning, Dr. Clendenning. How are you?
Good. The Michael Libercci. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I am kicking ass, taking names, and punching with both fists forward. My superhero-ness. That's what I'm doing this morning.
There, I was going to say, where's your cape?
I left it in the other room.
Okay, good. All
So,
right, as long as we know where it is.
yeah, I left my cape in the other room. So, I want to challenge us today by diving in and getting a little tactical. I believe that anybody can change, and I believe that anybody can move past procrastination, get their shit together, and achieve whatever the hell it is they need to achieve, regardless of age, economic status, race, gender, belief, whatever. Right? Now, if you're some jihadist, don't listen to this. I don't want you to. I don't want you to achieve anything. I want you to, be gone without taking anybody with you. But anyway, so my
Valid.
point is, Jake, when in the world, in the coaching circles, in just about everywhere, I hear this: I want to, or I'm not satisfied with who I am. I'm not making enough money. I'm not thin enough. My face looks like shit. I need a facelift. Breasts are too small. This is too big. My body doesn't look the way it should. There's a lot of self criticism going on out there, and or I made a stream of bad decisions, and now I am routinely dealing with the aftermath of that. So when I say to you, anybody can do anything they want. I mean, within reason. I guess they can't, but they can. I believe they can. And let's talk about that mountain, right? Let's talk about that mountain. Let's make that mountain an anthill, right? Or let's supersize the person so they're bigger than the mountain, right? So when
It's a
I
good way to
say
look
that,
at
what
it.
do you think, man? Like you're the NLP guy, you're the wordsmith over there. What do we got?
So you crossed several bridges there
I like to,
that
I like
we're
to
going to
burn
need
them
to
too.
address. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of them that we're dealing with. So one was procrastination that we dealt with. The other was I'm going to go back to matrix. I'm going to call it residual self image because I love referring to it that way.
Ooh,
Um, so that's how I define it for, well, okay, fine, my era
I'm
of
gonna
folks
take
that
some
are
notes.
right. Yeah, I mean that's how I define that. So let's start with those couple for now. So
What did you call that again? Residual self image.
residual self
Wow.
image.
Check out the big brain on Jake.
Well, yeah, I'm a movie buff. What can you do?
Self
That was a classic scene in the original Matrix where Neo and Morpheus were, the first time that Morpheus introduced Neo to the construct. And he put him in there, and Neo is just like this plain Jane dude standing there in his jeans and stuff. And he's like, where are we? And Morpheus described to him, this is your residual self image. This is how you see yourself within the Matrix. So, and
uh-huh.
he was super plain Jane, and look where he was in the end. He's all black and this huge trench coat, and super badass, and the big combat boots, and that's what he turned into,
Right.
because that's who he needed to become. So regardless, so residual self image. So we'll go back to that, and then we'll get into procrastination because that's a whole different thing, right? They're two totally separate topics altogether. So a great coaching quote I heard years ago, and I've heard lots of people say it. Whoever said it originally, when you're listening to this, hey, send it out to me and go, hey, this is who said that quote. Because I've heard it said by a lot of people. And this is an NLP thing as well. And let's back up even a little more. So, where Mike's saying he believes anybody can do anything they want, that is a presupposition of NLP. That is the actual presupposition is every single person has every resource available to them that everybody else does in order to achieve exactly what they want to achieve. That is a presupposition. You have every conceivable resource available to you. I have the same resources that Mike has. Same exact resources available to me. We live in different places, but we have the same resources. It's our ability to access them, which comes down to choice, right? That comes down to a decision to access the resources. So this is where we start moving into this, pick your image of whatever the thing is. I think the coaching quote is never compare your insides to somebody else's outsides. Okay. So when we're thinking, okay, well, my skin's not I'm not tan enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not buff enough. I'm not, and there's a lot of that I'm not enough stuff that's going on. That's because you're looking at somebody else. You're looking at them and you're comparing your model to their model. And you're comparing. So if you're comparing how you feel about yourself to what somebody else looks like, and you're making an assumption that the world needs to see you that way, well, it's bullshit. It is. That's just what it is. It's not necessarily true. How you see yourself matters 100%. And it's about confidence in how you see yourself. I see, and I have kind of a unique gift, and I see people differently. I find, I'll use women as the example, and I'm not throwing it out there, but there are some women that are wildly attractive. Like they just walk past you and you're like, wow. And it has nothing to do with their outward appearance, right? It has nothing to do with their body type or what they're wearing. I mean, yes, really good sculpted eyebrows. I'm down with that. However, that there's a, there's an energy that comes off them. There's something you can see that's just like they are just wildly confident in their skin and who they are and what they're wearing. They're proud of who they are and what they're doing. And those people, that's how they show up, and that's how I see them, right? And and it's because they've made the decision to be proud of who they are in their body, in their soul, in their person. So it's a decision about where you are. When you're thinking you're not enough, and I'm trying to remember where this was. I just heard it. I just saw a great movie with a great quote. If you're Oh, it was Cool Runnings, in point of fact. John,
Cool Runnings.
yeah,
What the hell is that? Cool
you
Runnings.
don't remember Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team in 1993? That's a great movie. John
No,
Candy.
I don't remember
Um,
it.
you should watch it. And yeah, don't watch Warriors a second time. Go watch Cool Runnings. It's a good
I'm not
one.
familiar, bro.
Watch
Come on,
Warriors.
man.
I know. So Cool Runnings. John Candy is the coach of the 1993 Jamaican Olympic bobsled team.
All right.
So
John Candy's the coach of a bobsled team.
I know it's a great movie. You got to watch it. So he has a quote as a coach because he got kicked out of the Olympics way back in a different time and kind of banished because he cheated. And he had made this, and his team wanted to know why he did it. And he said, because I was dedicated to winning. If I couldn't win, I couldn't do it. That's why I did it. And Doris Bannock, was actually the Olympic bobsledder, asked him, he's like, how will I know that I'm enough? And he says, if you're not enough without the win, you won't be enough with the win. So
Good point.
I love the quote, and that's why I bring this one up, because that's the same thing. If you're not enough with who you are, you're not going to be enough being somebody else.
Hey man, that's some solid advice. But at the same time, what I think people get lost at, Jimmy Candy is a bobsled coach. I just can't
It's a
even
great movie. Go watch it.
most out of shape guy is coaching the
Terribly.
most in shape dudes. I mean,
Yep, that's why it's so funny. It's a great movie.
I don't even know if Andy Reid can throw a football, but man, that dude can coach. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Chiefs fans, and Andy, I love you, buddy. But as a former Eagles coach, anyway, so I think what a lot of people do is they pick apart other people's assets, whether it's money, outward achievements, like, oh, here's my family vacation, I'm so badass, or here we are again having a blast. Here I am again in a bathing suit on a beach while you're freezing your ass off in New Jersey, shoveling snow, you mutt. And I just feel like most people sort of put themselves, get enough collective information out there, and then they start assembling what they don't have based on this sort of compilation of things. And, maybe one out of every 300 people have the perfect life, right? It's just, there are people out there
I don't even know that
have a perfect
that's
life.
true, right? Because again, there's the comparing your insides to somebody else's outsides. I don't think the perfect life exists. Somebody somewhere can tell you I have the perfect life, and they may be, there's a dude living in, the Himalayas. I'm trying to remember where they were. That he's basically living in a one room hut, and he goes out and rolls around in the dirt, and he's just the happiest person in the world. And he thinks he's got the perfect life. Well, that's not your version of the perfect life. But again, if you're not and this is where I'd say this one: if you are not enough in the life that you have, you won't be enough with the life you're going to get.
Okay.
Money's the same way.
All right. So let's coach on that. So if I, where do I start? Let me paint the picture. Well, let's paint two pictures. First, let me put myself in a different position here. Middle-aged guy. I have a successful career or a successful business. Let's say career. I work. Okay. I apply myself to the skill set I've developed. I gain income from it, whether it's a lot or a little. But I am not fulfilled, and I want to do more. I want to spend more time with the kids. I want to start a podcast. I want to get in better shape. Where I want to eat completely different. I want to lose 50 pounds. Here's the chatter that's
Mhm.
out there in the world today. Where do I start? In other words, listen to this supposition. Ready? I
Mhm.
am so ingrained in my patterns. I am so entrenched in reflex. I have taught myself the optimal energy schedule that I can output. Now, hear me out, folks. In this example, you have taught yourself to optimize yourself to this life. You can sleep the right amount. You can just exert the right amount. You can slack the right amount, and everything will kind of stay the same. Maybe dip a little, and you got to get it going a little. Where do I change? Where do I start? I know it's a big example without specifics, but let's use that. Let's use that as an example, Jake. I'm coming to you for help. Help me.
I think you just described 80% of of our demographic,
No
right?
shit.
Of where they are. Um, there's tons of works on this. There's tons of them. So I'm going to reference a couple. Most recently, my wife and I were listening to a longevity summit. Bleh, I'm learning to speak English. It's going to be great, guys. And it was a discussion about how you live longer, the things you eat, the things you do,
Uh huh.
um, and one of them had a lot to do with purpose. There
Okay.
were, and they've talked about, and we've seen it. Like everybody's seen, hey, this guy seemed really happy. He retired and he was dead the next day, because to Mike's description of the person he just described, they don't know anything else. They've not discovered a purpose, something greater than the way their maximum output they've discovered in this financial machine that they're doing whatever they're doing. They don't have a big why. Now I say big why is going to be a Simon Sinek reference. Start with why, and you guys know I'm a big Simon Sinek fan. I've seen him a bunch of times speak on stage. He's a super cool dude.
Why do you like that guy so much?
That's a great question. Exactly why I'm such. I think his clinical descriptions of the way that he lays things out. He's one of those speakers that resonates with me,
I gotta check
plain
him.
and
He's
simple.
kind of arrogant to me, but I like that a little bit. So I gotta check him out a little bit more.
I could see where that would come off, and yet that's not how he comes off to me. He comes off very clinical, very very dry, very matter of fact, very data driven in what he does, and yet it's the appropriate amount of information. So
Simon
that's just
said.
why I like Simon Sinek. Um, so
All right,
so
so
again,
go finish your coaching there for me.
so that's where I'm going with this one. It's about purpose. When we are finding ourselves in want, I want this, I want that, I don't have this, I don't have that, we're in want, right? Which means when we're in want, we're in lack. So this is where, from a coaching perspective, we have to start where we are at, not just all of a sudden. This is where Mike's talking about little dude, big mountain, right? We have to start. First thing is we have got, and it's a process, guys. You've got to figure out what your greater higher purpose is, what it is that you're put on this planet to do, what your telos is, if you will.
Ooh,
um,
Talos.
yep I yep, I got tons of great words for you this morning. So telos is
I don't
what you're
know what that.
designed
I
to
don't know
be.
what that means, man. I'm gonna have to get a
So
dictionary to
I'll, gi-
keep
I'll
up.
give you the example. So the telos of an acorn is to become an oak tree, right? That's its purpose. That's its design. That's its greater good, what it's going to be. The telos of that oak tree is to become a set of furniture. Eventually, that's kind of a thing that's going to happen. But that is what telos is. It's a definition of what the thing is, of what it's meant to become. Okay. as a person, as a human, you can say as a human, I mean, and everybody goes looking for this. You see it all over the place that people are looking for it. Awesome. Doesn't mean you ever have to find exactly what it is, but you've got to start looking for it. You can't get into this. I have this little box of I have optimized my day in such a way that I know the perfect amount of. You got to you got to change the way in which you do things. And I will tell you this from a coaching perspective, and this is what I coach everybody on because I know it works, plain and simple. And this is a standard model just about everybody that plays in my world does, and it is gratitudes and affirmations and some dietary stuff first thing in the morning. There's a pattern in how to set your body up to perform the best you can over the day. And your affirmations have to be a very specific way that they are written, right? You can't get up in the morning and go, I laugh at there's a Geico commercial right on where a dude tosses money into the 3-foot pool of disappointment. It's freaking hilarious. And he says, he throws money and he goes, I want to be rich. Okay, great. But that's not an affirmation. That's an affirmation that you're not rich. Okay. So you got to be more specific. You have to say, I am wealthy in this way. You can't say I want to get or I intend to get or any of those things because it tells your brain, your hypothalamus, your little squishy thing in the back of your head that you don't have it. Your brain has one job. It's to do exactly what you tell it to do. So if you tell it I am looking for wealth, it's going to go look for money. It's going to go look for wealth. I am looking for abundance. It'll set it up that way instead of I want. It's a different way of saying it. So there's some very specific ways in which to create affirmations. Ton of works on this. Reach out to me, reach out to Mike, on how, if you need help with this, on how to write them. And they got to be simple. Think about SMART goals. They got to be simple, measurable, achievable, responsible, and timely.
So,
That's exactly how you write these.
so let me stop you there. What we're saying is, let me break this down. We're saying the first step in making a shift, doesn't require money, doesn't really require technology. I'm holding up a pencil, and I'm literally taking notes here on pencil and this letter that somehow is folded up. I don't even know what this is. Low tech. And before you people out there get all like, oh, I don't feel like doing that, well, try it. I dare you. Billy Badass. Try this. I ingrain affirmations in my head. My goal on this planet is to help people become unstoppable. And I lead that by example. As you know, I've had more life-threatening shit happen to me than I care to share here in this medium. And that's not even self-induced. It's not even behavior or lifestyle choice. It just happened to me. And, I have this, let's just say, determination to stay alive. And I have a determination to just keep moving forward. And I don't know whether it's, I don't know whether it's childhood. I have no idea, but that is my superpower. And whether something takes me down or not, my superpower is go as hard into the paint as I can and defy whatever's trying to do it to the very bitter end. And that way you stay alive longer. You stay in the zone of what you're trying to do longer. You stay present longer, and you understand and are comfortable with backlash, or you're comfortable with whatever setbacks you may get. So what we're saying here is the affirmations are a very easy tool. Even if you have the wrong affirmations, because there is no right one, but even if you have the wrong affirmations, you still have them. You're still doing something. You're still setting that up. It might take you 4 months of affirmations to actually move off your ass. Who knows? You never know. I don't know. I can't predict that. I'm not you, right?
Yep. And it's totally true. So that's Mike's right. It's a no tech thing. And to the no tech point, what I always coach people to do, one, take your cell phone out of your bedroom. Get it the hell out of your bedroom, plug it in the kitchen, leave it alone. It doesn't belong there. You shouldn't be doom scrolling right before you fall asleep. It's unhealthy for you. It's a blue screen issue. There's a lot of circadian rhythm issues that go on with it. Like, it's a simple thing. And if you're going to find it, here's where I'm going to poke some bears. If you find that really hard, you're like, oh, I can't possibly do that. You're addicted to your phone. You are addicted to that stupid thing. And it happens, right? It totally happens. I wrote about this in my first book. There's a whole big research on it. But you've got to take the cell phone out of your bedroom. You need the pencil and the paper next to your bed before you go to sleep so that you can put your unconscious mind to work while you sleep. You write your affirmations, you write your gratitudes, you write them down physically, write them down. Take your pencil and paper, write them down, leave it on the nightstand next to your bed, go to bed. Don't then doom scroll. You wake up in the morning, first thing you do, you pick up that sheet of paper before your feet hit the floor. You read it out loud, like you're reading it to yourself. If you need to, you write them again, right? You keep on repeating this process because you've got to carve it on the walls of the cave of your brain,
Writing it
cave
down here.
painting in there, right? You've got to write it, you've got to scribe it in there. I do something, one of my favorite thing to do right now is called, I call it a 5 by 5. And literally before I go to sleep, I say my affirmations 5 times, right? 5 affirmations 5 times. And I get up in the morning before I do anything, 5 affirmations 5 times. I'm just doing very, very basic things in order to set myself up to make my brain do what I want it to do. Like
Uh-huh.
I intend to look for abundance. I intend to look, whatever your thing is, I am open to this. I'm open to that. Or I am, my favorite still, I am happy. I am healthy. I am free. Those are three of mine that I use all the time. Plain and simple because they have a specific definition to me. Right. So that's my 5 by 5s that I do. The other one's gratitudes. Um, when I do have everybody do gratitudes, and I start every coaching conversation, you can ask all my people this, we've talked about it before, is I have one question I ask every single time, every coaching conversation for the last decade. What are we grateful for today? And it has to be something small, right? It can be, you know what, that was an awesome cup of coffee. I am grateful for that cup of coffee. Cool. It doesn't have to be some grandiose thing. And the reason it's small, and this is why we get back to this residual self image thing, is you've got to be grateful for what you have, what there is, not necessarily, doesn't have to be something huge and out of your control. You could be grateful that the dog slept all the way through the night and didn't steal all the covers if he sleeps on the bed with you. You can be grateful for a good cheeseburger,
So let
whatever.
me
I
ask.
mean,
So let me ask you something. So for those of you, because like sometimes that sounds a little bullshitty to me, being grateful for a cup of coffee. It really does.
sure
It
it
doesn't.
does.
It doesn't. But I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yep.
It's like, what is this guy talking about, man? Like, why am I? What does that do? What is the mechanism there? Like,
Yep.
how long?
So
And
here,
how long does that take to change me? Like, okay, Jake, I'm listening to
instantly,
you.
that's the cool part. That's the cool part, is when you are truly grateful. So here's the simple science. Okay, I'm gonna pull all the medical terminology out of it. You cannot be grumpy and grateful in the same space. Your brain cannot do the two tasks at one time. It's not possible. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I can multitask brilliantly. No, you can't. You suck at it. Nobody can multitask well, and your brain doesn't. It's an incredible computer, but it's one task at a time. It
I'm
does
taking
not do
feverish
10
notes
things.
here. For those of you that are, I mean, I know I record this and stuff, and I can look back at it. I'm taking feverish notes here.
He's writing it down. But
I'll get 20
that's what
grand worth of coaching
gratitude.
right here.
Gratitude is an incredible tool. It's an incredible tool, and it's the simplest tool we own. Plain and simple. It's the cheapest screwdriver you could buy at the hardware store. It's the little $2 multi tool that's at the gas station that like saves your life in a wilderness. Because you buy. It's a simple tool. Gratitude's the way it affects your brain. It releases all the right chemicals. It sets your brain on a specific path of activity and action. Like it's an amazing reset tool, and that's why we started. Because if I get on a call, if Mike's my client and we get on there, and Mike's like, "Oh, my day sucks," and this is, and I just start going into that, I'm not defusing the bomb. I'm just waiting for the bomb to go off. Instead of the fastest way to defuse the bomb is, Mike, what are we grateful for today? You have to stop. I mean, you'll watch people. It's one of my favorite things to do is I'll watch my coaching clients. A lot of them will rock kind of back and they'll blink like 2 or 3 times because they have to hunt for it. Their brain has to completely reset. If you want, there's some great works. Dr. Matt Townsend did a book called Starved Stuff, and it's a couples therapy book. But he talks about the smoke and the fire, and what's really the smoke and what's really the fire. And it's all about getting to the real fire. The real truth of it is gratitudes will get you there. They will center you. They will put you in a place to where you have clarity of thought, to where things are clear. And that is an incredibly powerful tool. Now, here's the funny thing. We started talking about procrastination. Let's talk about that next time. Let's talk about that in the next episode. We'll just push that back till we
Yeah,
get
we'll
into the
fire
next one.
listen, I put shit out there, and it depends on where we go. But so just in recap, if you're a person, a human being that doesn't, and I never went over like a 30-year-old example, but if you're a person that is looking to make some sort of change, and the change starts from within, these gratitudes and these affirmations are a simple, low-tech skill that you can start to begin to cultivate energy, motion, intention, and an idea to move you in a different direction. The speed in which you move is completely determined upon you taking those first steps.
That's
If
it.
you don't, even if they don't work for you, they work for everybody, but even if they don't work for you, you have to do something that doesn't require a major amount of energy. It just requires regular discipline, performed over and over again, that has an intention to move you in a different direction. And it
That's
builds,
it.
and it builds, and it builds. All right, man, we are out of time, Jake. That was powerful. Thank you so much for Dr. Clendenning. I'm Mike Libercci. You were just on Total Disruption. Now it is your turn to disrupt.